now what I'd like to do to open up the seminar today, what I'd like to do is, I know a lot of you are doing business or we're looking to get into business, is address some of the issues that you're currently having at the moment, right, in relation to sales, right? Those of you who are looking even for employment, is what issues are you having in relation to employment? Because when you go into employment, whether you realise it or not, you're actually selling yourself. Okay, so the whole focus we really want is to address the aspects where one sells oneself to a client one wants. Okay? So if we start with the current environment at the moment, why you think perhaps things ain't working right, and then maybe address some of those issues in relation to what issues you're having around sales. Okay? Making lots of sales, everybody?
Making sales.
You're making sales?
About lots of them.
Oh, lots of them. All right. Okay. That's good. So you're getting through. Yeah? That's the start. You're getting through? Okay. So, would you like to get more sales?
Yes.
You would? I can't hear you.
Yes.
Yes. It's like, it's Friday night. It's the end of the week. We should be happy.
Yay.
It's like coming up. Come to see Vonda, Dad. I don't want to see you. I'm tired. Just going to go home for the weekend. Well, hopefully you're going to go home and have something to think about. Okay? So tell me, you want to make more sales. What are the issues at the moment in relation to sales? Tell me.
Sorry,
Budget? What?
Oh, no, sorry.
You got found out there, innit? See? That teacher. Yeah. Yeah, I highlighted you, didn't I? Yeah. I'll do it again if you're not careful. Yeah. Pick on Dean, yeah. Stand on the chair, stand on your head, pay attention. All right, so tell me, what are your issues to sales at the moment?
Finding the right customers.
Right, so sourcing customers, would that be right? You want sourcing customers?
Strategy.
Strategy. Sales strategy, yeah. Yeah.
They need to be more proactive.
Proactive, interested. Yeah. Leads? Needs? Well, identifying needs in themselves?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So identifying needs, yeah. What else?
You just
What
had
else?
leads as well, didn't you?
Can you sit down, please, mate? I'm going to highlight you now. I've asked you to sit down 3 times. Not at the back, on the side, please.
I know, he just gave me.
Not you, not worry about you, Tel. You're all right, mate. I know you. He's always facilitating. This thing's on the seat, sir. He's doing my heading. I'm telling you to sit down 3 times. Don't worry about it. It's me and him. Just a big going on. You all right now? Thank you.
Really.
I've got to highlight you. Yeah, now you'll do it. Right. Sorry. Anyway, it's all right. It's all one family in here, by the way. All right? So tell me. Right.
More leads.
More leads. All right. More leads. Okay. What else?
Budget.
Budgets, money. Interesting. That came up today. What else?
Communication.
Oh, masterful one. Communication, man. I've been dealing with that all that. I'm going to roll that out. Funny enough, that should come up. I'm going to give you something. I'm going to give you some models, actually. You press the button there. All right, 3 more.
Time.
Time. Can we have the door shut? Time? What, managing time? Time management? Yeah, okay.
Value.
On me?
Value.
Values. Yeah, value, what, as in value added services or communicating value?
Value.
Values, okay. Right. Value, all right, interesting. Yeah, what else?
Fear.
Fear, overcoming fear.
Yeah.
Interesting. Uncle Bob's going to deal with them quite a lot of that later on, actually. Now, some of this points Uncle Bob will deal with later on. This is Uncle Bob here, and I'll introduce him later on. Uncle Bob's previously worked for Reuters for over 22 years. He's got some best-selling books on the market, and he will come over later and actually give you an indication. But I'll introduce him a little later. Now, so we was at the business show yesterday and today, and me and Uncle Bob took a walk around. We really, the way that we work is somewhat, we like to think it's different, but you never know it's different until you see what's going on. Okay? Alright? You never know it's different until you see what's going on. So, the objective, can you come sit up here, please? No, you're annoying me now. Come and sit up here, please. No, you ping me off. I know him very well. I've known him over 30 years. Yeah? 30 years I wish I never had, right?
Yeah, that's not really.
Yeah. So, initially, what we're saying, we was at the business eye show, we started walking around because they've got the sales directors show and everything else there. And what we looked at and we said, well, what's going on in there? I mean, we sort of went and saw PowerPoint presentations and we saw things going. We didn't really see nothing that was related in around what we do. And we thought, well, is it us? Is it us? What's actually going on here? Because it's supposed to be a Great Britain business show. And there wasn't much different what was going on. It was a lot of
Different to
IT.
Different to.
Different, well, it's indifferent. Everyone was doing the same PowerPoint slides, standing up, stiff at a podium, and I shall do my best, Kayla, I will do my best kind of mentality, you know? And there was no flow in there. It was like there was no vigour. There was no energy there, in the sense of empowering people. All right? I mean, you can tell us afterwards if you think I'm wrong, but you know, we've really got something here. But we really want to get to market. So hopefully, you guys, when you come out today, I think something we haven't really been emphasising on is getting people talking as much. All right? Because we are salespeople, and we don't really like to think about negotiation, persuasion, and so on. But we really want you guys to actually go out and become the salespeople behind what we do. And you can tell me if I'm wrong afterwards. And I think we're going to go up another level because we thought, well, there's a lot of this going on. We're not talking MLM, we're not talking joint venture marketing partnership. We're talking if it's good and you like it and it's got value, okay, talk to people about it. All right, simple. Tell people about it. All right, you'll do that naturally anyway. But what I'm saying, let's start getting people to understand that to get our economy moving, which is part of our Get Britain Moving campaign, street market, stock market, is that we're going to need to start really selling and overcoming these kind of issues. Alright? So let's start looking at the first one. We talk about sourcing. Do you want me to take them one-on-one, or would you like me to give you some models instead? I mean, I'll go from one-on-one and knock them all out, and it'd be like, okay, right, you've proved that, but would you have got anything from that? Or shall I give you something you can take away and then you can actually piece it and place it yourself? Completely up to yourselves. What do you put on? You're nodding. Something you can take away, some models. We prefer that?
Yeah.
Alright. Hey, hands up, who wants some models to take away? And hey, right, good. Right, majority rules, right, yeah, okay, good, right. No problem. Alright, so what I'm going to do, I'm going to go through a series of models. The first model I'm going to go through is the communication model. Okay, the second model I'm going to go through is the LACE model. The third model I'll go through is the 5 C's. The fourth one I'll go through is the time, and it's a reverse model, and it goes into a MIG. Okay, now if I'm going a little bit too fast, please do tell me. Alright, so the first model, when we look about talking about communication, right? Communication is based on the model. Who's heard of the model sender, encoder, message, decoder, receiver?
No.
No? Right, well if you put out sender, S-E-M-D-R, it's sender, encoder, message, decoder, receiver. So what it means is when we're sending out a message to somebody, okay, and we encode that message. So if I was to say to you, io studio italiano alla Università per 2 anni, adesso così così, would you understand what I'm saying?
No.
Right, you wouldn't, why? It's another language. So I'm encoding it in the wrong way, would you agree?
Yes.
Alright, so am I communicating with you?
No. Not well. You are.
Yes,
Not.
but
Ah, right, I am, but not, right, because you're not decoding it, right? Okay, so if I'm sending out a message, and I'm encoding a message, okay, I want it decoded so that you at the other end can receive that message. Now, a lot of the time when we communicate, we send out messages, but we don't really decode the message. We take it for granted. How many times you tell someone, I told you that before? I told you, I mean, just take me a hand. We have it every day, don't we, Ed? Every day, isn't it? I wonder why.
So do I.
All right, but you know, it becomes part of the the major song. And what I'm saying is you want someone to understand that we need to really recognise they're going to need to decode your message at the other side. All right, it's a key factor. Because you've encoded and you've told someone something, doesn't mean that they've actually understood it. Right? So we were willing to look at the basis behind it. Now, how many ears you got?
How many
2.
ears?
2. Right? Am I wrong or right? How many mouths you got?
1.
How often do you use them in that order? Strange, isn't it? Okay? Well, I'm going to touch on some of that later, so I'm not going to go too deep into that. But what I'm saying, when we're communicating, we need to listen, acknowledge, check, and inquire. How many times do you do that when you're dealing with clients?
I do it, but probably not really conscious.
Not conscious. So then you wonder why you're not getting more business. Come on, think about it. You need to engage with the client, right? You want more business. The business is out there. Okay? But we're not conscious, you're right. So if we're not conscious, what's the opposite of conscious?
I'm good.
Unconscious. So we have to now engage to recognise that we're unconscious. Would you agree? It's hard to admit though, isn't it? I'm unconscious. I'm not doing this right. How hard is that? That self-reflective practitioning mode where you know you're not doing something, but you continue to say, so I've got to get it right, but you know it's not happening right. So why do we continue to do that? But I'm not going to get into that because Uncle Bob will touch on some of that a little bit later. All right, so I'm not going to go too deep on that. So sender, encoder, message, decoder, receiver. We need to ensure that the person at the other end listen, acknowledge, check and inquire. That's the LACE model. Okay? Listen, acknowledge, check and inquire. While you're actually tuning into someone using your 2 ears to tune in.
So can you say that one more time?
Listen, acknowledge, check and inquire. Okay? So let's think about how you're engaging. I said 2 ears, 1 mouth. Uncle Bob's going to tune you into some really powerful sides of the neurosciences and so on as we go along that hopefully will take you past the barriers that you can experience when you're going through this. Right? The other area of it we're looking at is, I'm going to come back to this, don't get me wrong, I'm not going to just leave it hanging up there, right? I want to get the models out first, right? The other area is your 5 C's, okay? This is calm. If you're engaging with someone, remain calm. Right? How often are you dealing with people and you see that customer in front of you is, let's say, not engaging with you? How often does that happen to you? Or you'd like to engage them better? Or better still, how often have you walked out and not taken the deal? A lot, right? Everyone's gone quiet. So what, we all doing loads of deals there then, right? Are we? I thought we were here because you wanted to do more deals, right? Or increase certain things, right? How often do you actually check that? Why that is? Stay calm and have that inner stillness. Right? Have that focus within yourself. So when you're engaging with a client, you have a level of control. Right? Because with that control, you remain calm. Does that make sense? And by remaining calm, you have control. So it's always two-way, always asymmetric. Right? Now, once you've gone through that pace of it, if you think about the cell cycle, there's a 10-point cycle there. Right? Now, this is taking you straight down the centre of the cell cycle. The cell cycle is quite monotonous, quite outdated. We like to work from a UK perspective rather than America's perspective. And Bob's going to tap into some of that as you come in and tell you where we are looking at really emphasising the UK cell psychology approach rather than the American outdated, unproven really, models that are out there. Okay? They're proven to a certain degree, but then when you hit certain levels of sales, we're talking especially professional selling, we're talking about a different science altogether. So, when you calm, you control, then you need to collect the relevant information. You're collecting the relevant information from your individual client. Okay? What sort of information are you collecting, do you think? Relative to what?
Customer.
Right. What sort of things do you think you're going to collect from them?
What they need to
what they need.
Right. How often do you do that? How often do you actually sit down and engage totally and listen to them? And tune in to them? Do you remember the old radio station? I'm giving myself away. I know it's all gone digital now, but I like analog. Do you remember these gramophones we used to have? And you used to dial. Was it called the dial? Was it the dial? And you used to tune in the dial. Do you remember that? Yeah. Now, what happened when the dial or the plastic thing wasn't on the line? What happened? What happened?
You get fuzzy reception. Or you
Fuzzy reception. Would you call that interference?
Yes.
Right. Interference. Right? What happens when you locked it into the line?
Clear.
Clear. Crystal clear. Would you agree?
Yeah.
So can you see where I'm going back to that communication side again? Now let's think about it. We're saying right now, our government's not doing enough, the banks are not borrowing, everything else going on out there. Is it tough out there at the moment?
Yeah.
Why?
Decision makers, they're making decisions.
Decision makers, so who's the decision maker? And the decision maker's you. I thought you were the entrepreneurs.
Not if they got the Bugs Bunny.
Not if they got the Bugs Bunny. What about having the noddle instead? Yeah? We start thinking about decision makers. We start thinking about the actual passing the buck, who do you think is going to get our economy out of trouble? Do you think it's going to be the decision makers, or do you think it's going to be you, the entrepreneurs? Right. So, why are we focusing on decision makers then? Surely, when you are collecting information from your clients, okay, and you're working with them, are they not experiencing the same issues that you're experiencing?
Yeah.
Right. So, by listening to them and engaging with them and seeking for ways to overcome that, what do you think you're doing for them?
Solving the problem.
Right. Don't you need to solve your own first? If you're sharing the same experience, am I wrong or right? But if we're going in there with a mindset, well, the decision makers ain't doing this, or the government's this, or society's this, or there's no money out there, or it's a recession, where does that take us? Do you think your client's going to listen to you when you're talking? Do you think you're going to look confident when you're talking to your client? Or do you think you're going to look half-busted? What do you think you're going to do? Half-busted or confident?
Half busted.
Why?
Because you're just relaying what's happening anyway.
Don't really believe it, do you?
Nah.
Joe? So what are you really looking for at that client then? More than anything else, what are you looking for at that client? When you're going through the process of collecting information, what are you really looking for out of the client? Is it paying? Sell. Money. Right? Do you think the client doesn't understand that? That you just want to sell? Now, does it make sense, as the gentleman said earlier, to listen and communicate a sense of value so that you can get the keyword repeat sales? What does he think gives sales a bad name? Where do you think the unethic comes in? Do you think people take sales seriously? Is it taught in schools?
No.
Why? So why is it we all think we can just go into business and just go and sell? If I said to you you're going to become an IT guru or a barrister or a lawyer, what would you tell me? If I said to you I'm going to go and I'm going to represent, I'm going to go into a court of law and be a lawyer and represent, what would you say to me? Good luck. Yeah. Would it work? Huh? Would people take me seriously? Why? Not qualified. Right? Well, not qualified. Key area. Why am I not qualified?
You've got no experience.
Not experienced. Interesting, isn't it? But yet still we all think we can go out there and sell when we're not qualified. Because as you would say, but it's all about Bud's money, isn't it? Making the money, isn't it? That's what drives most salespeople. But that's also what brings a lot of unethical behaviour into the sales business. Do you think your clients don't know that? Do you think they don't pick up on that? So when you're communicating, collecting information from them, be aware that is the present time and the key time when that client is watching you. The same way you're watching them. And if you're truly got some interest in that client, and you're really truly engaging with that client, you're going to take that business. Majority of times you're going to take that business. Because you're going to deal with that client's issues. By truly engaging. And you're going to get a lot of repeat business out of that client. Because your role should be to gain a relationship from it. Not just take the order. There should be a level of long-term thinking. There should be a vision in there. And by engaging with your client's vision and you tapping into it, you will find that you now will be able to generate more business from it. It's not your fault, it's just the way it is. Too much American models going on out there. Okay? Excuse me, but nothing against Americans, but I find that they're quite neurotic in certain ways. Very confident people, but quite neurotic in certain ways. We're not neurotic people. And when it comes to sales, we're very sceptical about things. But you've got to be damn good to crack it in Britain. So you've either got to take it seriously. You know, how much do you invest? If you was going to go to a university course, how much does a university course cost a year now? £9 grand a year, is it? To get what? A degree. Does it guarantee you a job or money at the end of it?
No.
Right. But when we go out there and we start talking about investing in ourselves for our business, it all of a sudden, it becomes expensive. Would you agree? Hey? Something that's going to take us to the next level. It becomes expensive. Why? Well, it's what's going to take you to the next level and sort your life out and become a pensionable income. Question. Okay? So I'm going to put a big question mark there. Bob? I'll let Uncle Bob deal with that a little later. But let's move on. Collecting information. Then we confirm what we've said to the client. So the client knows the client's been heard. Okay? So we need to confirm it. Because you're listening, you acknowledge, checking in, quite communicating. If I listen to you and I talk to you and you, it's just like a consultative process. Yeah? Otherwise you feel like you're being hit with a hammer. Would you agree? And you might not realise it, but sometimes in sales we get very desperate. We don't realise by engaging, speaking fast, whatever, the client might want it, but it's like, well, you're not communicating to me. It's always your fault. If you don't get the sell, you weren't good enough. Reality. Go home and think about it. Evaluate on it. And then when the more you consolidate, is the more when you come to the fifth C, which is the consolidation process, you'll be able to consolidate your clients. Thank you. Right? The more you'll be able to consolidate your clients. Okay? If you don't learn the art of consolidating yourself, how the hell are you going to consolidate anybody else? It's your businesses. Who's saying, oh, there's no money out there? Is it that there's no money out there or you're not equipped to take the money? That's the question. I'll leave that to you. I'm not saying it's wrong or it's right. That's the question. So is it that you have to raise your game? Or there's no jobs out there? Is it that you're not equipped to be able to sell to an employer that you're the right person? It's mindset, focus, discipline, hardcore, attitude. He goes out all the time on the road, hitting bodies left, right and centre. Am I wrong or right?
You're right.
How many times have we booked loads of bodies in to do things and all sorts to do things, and what happens? What's the fallout rate?
80%.
Phenomenal. Absolutely phenomenal. But yet still, these are the same people that want to sit down at home and moan. No, there's nothing going on out there. There's no money out there. You think about it. Ball's in your court. Right? I'll let Uncle Bob show you how to break those barriers down later. Everybody clear on that? Right, next one is time. And conventional marketing says that you, tell me if I'm wrong, you target your audience, you inform your audience, you market to your audience, and then why do you educate your audience? Am I wrong or right? So target, information, market, and educate. Would that be right? Anyone disagree with that? Right. Does it work?
Not always.
Not always, isn't it? Why?
Your product might not match up with the customer's needs.
Is it that, or is it there's a lot of it's wrapped up in theory?
Well, your focus wasn't really on the sale.
Who went to university to do any business management degrees or marketing degrees or anything else? You did, Jack? Great, fantastic. What year did they take you back to in management or marketing when they taught you about theories? Right, but what year with the School of Management schools and all these kind of guys, what years were they talking about? Bethlehem Steelworks, Frederick Winslow Taylor, am I right? Yeah. 1873 was it? Yeah. Right, Elton Mayo, 1940 something. Right, Mary Follett Parker, Jane Woodward, 1960s. Don't go much past that, do they? Right. Do you understand what's going on there? What am I talking about?
Outdated.
Outdated. Alright, would you agree? How much of that was applicable to you when you came out of uni? No. Right. So when you go and you pick up all these books and all these things and you think you're going to get the basis of selling, what makes you think that you're going to be able to apply what's in those outdated books? Outdated theorists. Well, there's one theory that says it's right, there's always another theory that counteracts that theory. Anyone tell me if I'm wrong? Is there any wrong or right in theory? Right, you justify, am I wrong or right, Doctor? You justify your existence and you prove your point through the selection of theory, and then you come in and you override with putting down your basis and pulling in other theories to underpin your theory. So go out and create your own theories.
That's right.
What are you waiting for?
That's right.
Apply your own science. Become the master of your own destiny. So we're going to reverse that now. So when you spell time, the word time, if you get time like this, okay? Alright? And you reverse it. Anyone understand what the word emit means?
Not what you give out.
Give out, to release, to emit.
Yeah.
Alright? Freedom. Freedom. Or I like to say unrestricted independence. Okay? So let's take it and reverse it. So well, we've got the conventional model here, which you're getting tied down in now. Okay? Let's start thinking about emitting yourselves. Alright? And there needs to be a series of learning and development in there as well. There needs to be a series of investment into yourself. Alright? You want to learn to do things in business and negotiation and persuasion. There's a price attached to it. Unfortunately, that's the reality of it. Like it or lump it. You pay for what you're getting out there a lot of the time. And I tell you, a lot of what you're getting out there from what I've seen is outdated theories. Educate. Market, information, target. So what I'm saying, you're a small business. If you're going to try and compete and find target market and do things the conventional way, you're competing with a lot of the major people who've got the money to do these things. But if you've got something and you've got an idea and you go to market with it, okay, you're going to get information back from them. So now you're going to start to find out who your market is by going to market with it. Okay? By going to market with it and educate people about what it is, primarily educate yourself. A lot of people sell things and they're always looking at benefits and needs and all this kind of stuff. But they don't really understand the basis of what they're selling. They just want to sell the good bits. Because that's what makes people buy, right? But what about what makes people not buy? Does anyone ever think about that? Concentrating on the bad bits so you can overcome the bad bits. Isn't that part of it? Don't you think that's a key part of winning business? What makes people not buy? So if you're educating, you're bringing something to market, they're not giving you the information that you need to find out who your target market is. How many times do you think marketing people bring something to market and it fails? How many products to one that comes to market? What's the stats? Hundreds. Hundreds. Why? Because it failed this. The time is too conventional. It's outdated. There's money going down the drain here. Here, you, using your scarce resources and your ability to sell, can go direct to market and start to understand the basis of educating someone to get into that market, informing to target your correct audience. Because they are giving you the information you need to be able to position yourself in that market. You're not working on guesswork and theory, which is vastly overdone in the UK. That's the problem. We like to look at books, or where do you see that on the television? Oh, the documentary said it, so it's got to be right. Oh, the professor said it, so it's got to be right. Like someone told me the other day, I don't know what I'm talking about because I didn't go to school to study. Well, I said, but my school was universities on the street. What about all the customers that I've spoken to and sold to over the years? What about all the business that's been developed? What about all these things? Isn't that part of it? That experience? Now, I'm not knocking universities, don't get me wrong. I think they're a very valuable resource to our society. You need to understand. But what I'm saying is, this is business. And most people who stand up in universities and teach business have not succeeded in business. Okay? So if you're going to go to someone who's not succeeded in business and think because you've got a degree or a master's or you're doing this and doing that and you're going to get it, think again. Okay? You need to come to a new school. A new school of thought. Okay? And hopefully after today you'll start to understand the basis of what we're trying to put forward to you today. We want to get our economy moving. It's time to move. We have a great economy. And the only way we're going to start driving jobs and getting our economy moving is by actually going out, putting boots on the ground, getting military paratrooper style, taking our products, taking our services to market and winning orders. But we've got to be ship shape. As I always say, ship up, shape up, or ship out. Nothing personal, but business is a win person's game. You all know that. What do you want to go back? Right, you go back to the missus or the husband, and they say, how did you do today? It was all right. I saw a few customers. Yeah. How did you do? I saw a few customers. It was great. I had a great day. Do you know what they're really saying is, how much money did you make? Right? Am I wrong? All right. Yeah. All right. So how did they do? Great. So they leave that bit, and then dinner comes. Right. You're sitting down at dinner. Everything's nice. You say, how much people did you see today? You say 3. And what happened? Did you manage to get your product across and think? Yeah. Got product across. So what happened at the end of it? Did you get the deal? That's what they're itching to say. Did you get the deal? Now you didn't get the deal, right? So that's the last thing you want to hear. You didn't get the deal, and they go, oh. That's what you hear. Oh, didn't get the deal then, right? Some salesman, you are. Ha. Some business person, you are. No deals, right? Aha, yeah, right. Tell me another story, right? Because they want results. Am I wrong or right? Yeah. Their partners want results. They want to see results, just like you want to see results, right? Yeah, they don't want to hear the long-winded story and all these sort of things going on. They want to hear about the sacrifice and things like that you make and the development. They want that. Where is the, as you would call it, Bugs Bunny? Yeah? Simple. And you go to bed at night, what do? They say, normally you get a couple, you know, when they see that. And then they turn around, right? And you see their back, and it's like, well, you was hugging me last week when I did them 2 deals, right? Yeah? But now, the distance is getting, the new gift that they used is not there anymore, right? Yeah, let's keep it real with business people. So people associate you to having money, like it or not. That's why you came to business as well, right? For the love of the business, but also to make money as well. Right? So unlimited incomes, that's the reality of it. Alright? So let's start to deal with that. Is that clear, by the way?
Yes.
You're happy with all of that? Alright, so I've got a little time left, so I'm going to just tidy up this. So sourcing. Alright, who mentioned sourcing? Sourcing? Products. Is that products, services? Right, what are you sourcing?
My products.
Your products? Yeah. Why are you having a problem sourcing?
I guess because I'm just trying to find my target audience, really.
Trying to find target audience. You ever thought about emitting yourself?
Not until now.
Not until now. Alright? So, right, because you've been looking at it from the outside, would that agree?
Yeah.
You've got a product and you're trying to pick who's who?
Yeah.
Is that general? The conventional way?
Yeah.
How about just taking it and selling it? How about just getting it, going down your local high street, yeah, and knocking on doors? Or, if it's an expensive product, getting into an area where they've got doors and approaching them. How about just going out and selling? Just do it. I'm not going to get too much into that, right? Because Uncle Bob's going to come and give you some nice tools later on. So I don't want to cover too much. But do you understand what I'm saying? Yeah? You want to source the product. Okay. You know what, years ago when I was doing a bit of mucking around the factories, I wanted to be fashion, but I didn't want to be a designer because I didn't really fit into the, you know, that kind of environment. Right? I was a bit too, you know, alpha kind of, yeah, man. Nice woman around here. You know, I sit in the factory, all them short skirts, like, hello. You know, so what I'm saying is, I went through the factory route, and going through the factory route, what I come to realise was that a lot of the time when I went into these factories, they always struggled. They always had what we call dead stock. Right? So I worked, I thought, hold on, if they've got dead stock, I can sell. Right? I spent a little too long in this factory. This game ain't really working with me anyway, this machine malarkey. So let me just go and pitch in, get a load of stock, and start making money. Do you know, I couldn't get enough business. What I mean by I couldn't get enough business was I was doing so much business that I couldn't get the clients, the salespeople that I needed to support the business. It was coming so fast. Right? I was doing so well, I couldn't keep up with it. And I could see where I wanted to go with it, but I couldn't get the salespeople to buy in to take it to the next level. Do a lot of you have that problem? And who takes care of that for you? Yourselves?
Yeah.
Welcome home. We're all one family here. The Sales Academy. Hey, hey. All right? So what I'm saying to you is, you know, I had this issue at the time, and it was a serious thing. So sourcing is not always about look, it's about going out and actually looking and seeing what people have got already at times as well. Well, if you're looking for clients, then go and speak to them. Okay, I won't go too much into that because I don't want to get too. But does that answer your question?
Crystal.
Yeah, excellent. Right, sales strategy. Who spoke about strategy? Strategy. What's your strategy?
Networking.
Networking. All right. Reactive. Would you agree? Depends. Networking. I cast out a net. Let's look at the word net. I cast out a net to catch fish. Like a fisherman, right? Let's think of the terminology of the words. All right? I put out that net, I go to network. I'm not saying it doesn't work. But obviously you're not happy with it enough, it's not giving you back enough. Would you agree?
I've only started doing it, so that's
Okay, hard to tell at the moment. All right, I saw a lot of speed networking today. I met a friend of mine from East London up there, David. And David came out afterwards and said to me, I went in there and I said that I was selling roasted marshmallows with a bit of lime on top. Right? And that was my business. Now, he's a bit of a wind-up merchant, David. And he went in there with a very serious face into this speed networking thing at the business growth shop. He said, I couldn't believe how many people believed me. Because he sat there and he was serious about it. Yeah, because they're there looking for something. Yeah? You're looking for something. It's like, yes, and they don't want to. And he said their faces. He said, if you saw him, Von, sometimes like, are you for real? Are you serious? But they didn't want to question him to say he wasn't serious. Do you see what I'm saying? All right. So it's a level. It does work to a certain degree. But what I'm saying to you is, when you're networking, what skills are you applying in your network? Okay? But don't worry, we've got the 16 columns as a free handout, a touch on that, and hopefully after today you'll get open to that. So, what would you think is the best strategy to get to money? Well, let me ask you a question. Which one? A model. Right, a model, right? You're going out and doing it, right?
But the networking is admitting yourself, isn't it? Because you're putting yourself in that position to meet other people. So you're going out from, it could be your office, your business. So it's I think it's
I didn't say it didn't work.
Right.
Yeah?
So it worked for me yesterday.
Yeah, I'm saying it can work, would do. It can work, I'm not saying it can't work. What I'm saying is, proactive. There's enough high streets out there where people got money in their pockets. While we always got to go into little clubs to talk about it, and generally meet business-to-business people who are also looking for the same thing you're looking for. Alright? And that's the bottom line of it. Let's go out and meet people who want your service. Alright? And you get in front of people. The word strategy, what does it derive from? Strategios, Greek word? In warfare? Preparing for warfare? So if you're at war and you're on the battlefield, what are you going to do?
Strategize.
Strategize. Are you going to stay on the battlefield, all the bullets going over your head? Are you going to stay on the battlefield? Or are you going to look for the M60 and start shooting down the place? Think about it. If they got M60s, you want tanks. If they got tanks, you want B-52s. Do you understand what I'm saying? Always be a step ahead of the game. How many people do you think actually take time to invest in their sales ability? To turn it into a professional skill? Because you all think you can go out there and talk to people. I got the gift of the gab. There, that's me. I'll do it out. What's an opening question?
To gain as much knowledge from what they know of the subject.
Brilliant. Give me an example of an opening question.
Something that they can not answer you, only one word answers.
Brilliant. Well, no, one word answers generally close, but yeah. But give me the model of opening questions. The words that we use to open people. Journalists use it a lot.
What? Why?
Right. That's what we're going to say, right? You with me? Now, how do you often, you use them in everyday conversation, how often do you apply that to a science?
All the time.
All the time. Great. Fantastic. One of us. How many more? 2. 3. Out of how many? That's about the average. Okay? Statement question. Probing question. Alternative questions. You got them ones? Anyone know them ones too? Should I go on? Sales is a profession. It is a heightened skill. It is not to be messed around with. Because you're messing around with your own businesses and your own lives. If you think you're going to go in and negotiate and persuade people by working on your wits, that's not the case. We need to understand the psychology that goes behind it. It's a serious, serious thing. Thanks for that, Tel. Much appreciated. Okay? So, strategy-wise, have we dealt with that yet? Have we? Are we at war? Or are we still in surrender mode? Are we in no man's land?
We're one step ahead.
One step ahead, that's where you want to be, right? Isn't that a good enough strategy?
Yes.
Do I need to go into theory, stop and sit, segmentation, targets, objectives, positioning? Oh, let me go back over here. All right. Sequences, integration, and tools. That's the generic model. Are we going to do that? Is that what you want to learn it? Stop and sit? Because that's the generic model. Or do you want to go and create your own strategy? Because when you're at war, it's generally the generals who sit in the office, right? The soldiers are on the battlefield, right? And you're at war because you're building your businesses. You're not generals yet. The generals when you start to have people working for you and you become business owners. That's when you're generals. Then you can play a different game. But right now you've got to go out and create and win. So you've got to be on the battlefield. Okay? Proactive. What do you need to be proactive? Do I need to tell you that?
I was just going out and doing more. I think I was relating it to time, really.
Yeah,
Really.
the time, right. So
Yeah.
time, we're coming down here. There's time management down here,
Yeah.
which deals with our lady over there. Okay? And time management. All right? Do you have a rota?
Yeah.
You do? How many days in the week?
How many days in the week?
Yeah.
Most days.
Okay. All right? How do you work your rota out? How far ahead is your rota?
No more than a week.
Right, well I won't go too much into that, but this is, alright? Yeah, but time is the thing. I mean, rotas, what you're doing is keep a bit of flexibility. You know, time management, don't commit to anything you can't do. That's the best way to manage time. Alright, simple, spread it out. Alright, you know, we always want to cram things in business, don't we? And that's where you don't remain calm, you get panicky. Because you're rushing from appointment to appointment. Why? When you can just spread it out. If you're good enough, you see a couple of clients a day and work on those clients. Why have to try and put 5 into one day when you can spread them out over a series of days? Okay? So let's think about it from that perspective. You want to make money, right? Am I wrong or right?
Right.
Have we got the skills to get to where we're going to get to yet? Have we got the skills yet? Have we got the sales skills? Are we professional salespeople here?
No.
Right. So what are we going to do to get to professional salespeople?
Isn't that experience though? And if you're saying not to see people,
I didn't say not to see people.
not to see people, but if you,
I wouldn't say that.
not to see people, but if you're saying like maybe see 2 instead of 3 people a day, but then I'm thinking it's basically it's a numbers game, isn't it? So the more you have to work out what your numbers are. So,
Is it a numbers game?
Well, that's what they
Or
say.
is it a skill and artful game?
So when you first start out, it can be a numbers game. Trust me.
I know, if you want it to be that way.
Yeah.
That's the whole point I'm making. They always say it's a numbers game. In a numbers game, so alright, don't worry about that one, I'll go and get another one. Don't worry about that one, I'll go and get another one. I'll go and get another one.
It's a number
Yeah?
of skills and value and quality all in the same. You know? It's a numbers, skills, quality all in the same thing. Even it might not be bad meeting 5 people in one
Well,
day. If they're all in the same location,
let
it's
me ask you,
the money.
at the end of it, I'm going to have Bob will deal with that, and then tell me if it's still a numbers game at the end of it. Alright? Can I leave that one open for now? And put a big question mark on that, alright? Yeah?
Okay.
I won't go down that road because time's running out on me, alright? Yeah? So like that. More leads, generating more leads. I think Uncle Bob can come and touch on that and deal with that with you and show you how to get the mindset into that.
Don't you worry.
Okay? Yeah? I'm putting a lot on Uncle Bob
No,
today,
no,
ain't I? Budgets,
What you
right?
want from me, don't
Time, money and budgets, right? Well, what generally happens, I was saying it today at the event today, a lot of people go out and look for loans to start businesses. Alright? Well, if you're generating business, do you need a loan?
No.
Why not?
Did you generate funds already?
So, do you need that sort of budget loans and whatever? How's your budget then?
I think you do sometimes.
Well, I'm not disputing that you don't have to have it. What I'm saying, you're generating enough business, do you need a loan?
No.
No. Standard.
Sometimes you do.
Alright? Well, no worries, I'm just asking the question, you know, I'm just open to everybody. Alright? But me, if you want to generate, I like scarce resources strategy. I like to try and generate. If I'm not generating, I don't want to commit and take loans. Yeah, because that means to me the business is not functional. All right? It should be generating, like from a sales perspective, it should be generating business. Then, you know, I don't have to really think of loads. If I'm leveraging and stuff like that, it's a bit different. All right, so let's look at the communication factor. I think we dealt with that a bit earlier. Time management, would you agree that's in it there? We're going to put a question mark on that. Value, okay? Can I leave that to Uncle Bob? All right, can I do that for you, yeah? And fair, well, we all know what fair pretty much means as well, but can I also leave that to All right, thanks for your time, much appreciated, and I'll hope to see you again. All right, Bob Everington, he's a mentor to me, previously a sales director at Reuters for over 20 odd years, phenomenal salesperson, got some best-selling books in the market at the moment. There's a few there on the end if you want to have a look at them. Primary Code Calling for Chickens, Present Sessions, Tells the Career Wreck. I'd like to introduce my mentor, Bob Everington.
Thank you. Good evening. How many of you have seen me before? How many have never seen me before? And how many of you don't care whether or not you've seen me again? As Bonnie said, my name is Bob Etherington. I've spent the last long time in sales. I left school, I was an engineer. I left school with practically nothing. 1 level, we used to call them GCSE, which was woodwork borderline. So I'm not better than you. A lot of you have got degrees and things like that. Over the years, I've done a number of different sales sort of jobs, from selling copiers up and down the Old Kent Road for Xerox. I joined Reuters in '79. I spent 22 years there. I ended up running the sales training. I was the director of one of their subsidiaries. I spent 6.5 years in New York. 10 years ago I left, set up a business teaching other people to sell, sold that, I got fed up with it, got bored being, I've retired 3 times altogether. Do you know the worst thing about retirement? Can I tell you? No weekends. Right? So I've reached a stage now where I want to do something every day, and my job now, I think, is to pass on the baton of what I've learned over the last few years to all of you. I'm also a flying instructor at Biggin Hill Airport, so if you get fed up with this, I'll teach you a flying aeroplane. Best fun you can have with your clothes on. First of all, I have to say that I am not better than you. All I've learned over the last few years is what I want to pass on to you. This is the first, what I'm going to deliver tonight is the first hour of a seminar that Bonnie and I have put together called 18 Hours Sales Mastery. It's a new business we're starting. I've got other businesses here in which I charge an awful lot of money to very large companies for giving them benefit of my advice. Today I had lunch with a brain surgeon, I've never had lunch with a brain surgeon before, a very well qualified lady who, yes lady, you can be a brain surgeon if you're a lady. Essex girl, real Essex girl, I've got to tell you. I mean, total, it's a very strange thing hearing an Essex girl talking about neuroscience, but that's what she is. She has a practice in Harley Street, and she has the same sort of issues that we all have. How does she sell herself in a private practice to very well-heeled people with a lot of competition? Once you become a brain surgeon and get qualified, then you're just like all the other brain surgeons. How do you differentiate yourself? Earlier this week on Monday, Vonley and I were conducting the same sort of seminar as this at Porchester Road Library in Paddington. We saw a reasonably well-dressed guy in the audience, of ordinary guys like you and me sitting there, and he came up and introduced us afterwards as the managing director of Euro Car Parks. He just sort of heard of what we were doing, and so then he came up and said, well, we've got to change everything. And he said he's now the chairman of Westminster Business Council. So Vonley, I can't go, unfortunately, has been invited by the Lord Mayor of Westminster to go to their Christmas party. So what I'm really saying to you is everybody has this basic need. It doesn't matter what sort of a business you've got, whether you're a one-man band just starting out, or a highly qualified doctor, or the managing director of one of the largest companies in Great Britain. You've all got to have the sort of fundamental skills. If you can't sell, you might as well forget having a business. And you heard from Vonley, a lot of this stuff isn't American. No, it isn't. Got some interesting information for you that 40 years ago, over the last 40 years, an awful lot of the global research into what works when you're trying to persuade people to buy your customers, to buy your products from you, was actually developed here in the UK. A lot of the research and the science and the investigations into how human beings get persuaded to do things isn't American at all. It was done on behalf of American companies, the research, at British universities, mostly at the University of Sheffield, but it's not American, it's ours. So basically, we Brits, we know an awful lot more about how to persuade people than the rest of the world. And it does actually come down to all of you and the way you behave in front of clients, but first of all, the way you behave to yourself. So what you're going to get from me tonight is as follows. I'm going to teach you the thing that most sales courses, spend about 1% of their time on, and yet it's the thing that makes the most difference to whether you succeed running your own business or in sales or not. As I said to you just now, it doesn't matter how well qualified you are, whether you're just starting out. There's so much, we're so lucky, all of us, to live in the London area and around the south of England. There's so much money washing around still for any of us with our businesses that we should be ashamed of ourselves if we blame David Cameron, Ed Miliband, or any Margaret Thatcher. I saw a thing out there. Let's all blame now. Are we still suffering from the effects of Thatcherism? Well, it doesn't matter. More entrepreneurs, more multi-millionaires are started during recessions and depressions than at any other time. This is a great time to start, when most people are walking around with their hands in their pockets saying, isn't it terrible? Let's blame somebody else for my misfortune. Listen, your misfortune in life, your reason you're sitting in this room with me this afternoon, this evening, in this corner of the City of London, isn't anything to do with anybody else. You are where you are because of decisions that you have taken. And when you can say these magic words, I am responsible, your life will change. You're responsible for taking your life from where it is now. I don't care what's happened in your life, about what rotten jobs you've had, you left with poor qualifications, you married the wrong partner, you're in the wrong... It doesn't matter any of that. You're where you are now. There isn't going to be a yesterday. So what happens in your life is... Some of you are going to have your lives changed tonight. I'm going to show you some remarkable stuff that you can do to your own head. I'm actually going to show you in this room. I'll demonstrate it. I'm just going to yap at you. You might notice we don't use any PowerPoint here. Yesterday at the Business Growth Show in Olympia, Bonley and I were there, and I offered for one of our sister companies, B2B Leads, I offered to do 2 presentations for them. Listen, ladies and gentlemen, what Bonley told you is absolutely true. We stopped the show sometimes. People were spilling out of the stand. We had like a little theatre like this. I was only booked to do 2 presentations, and we ended up doing 6. And after that, some of the other people supplying services to businesses, everything from banking to selling to making presentations, they were getting pretty pissed off with us. Because every time we began talking, a massive, sometimes we only had 3 people in the room. By the end of sort of 45 minutes, we had not only the people in our room, but people outside in the aisles trying to see what was going on. And we heard somebody, one of the other stands say, what are they doing in there? How are they able to attract the audience? I'm going to show you how to do it tonight. How to get people wanting to know more about what it is you do. Is that okay if we do that for the next hour?
Yes.
Okay. Let me show you what we're going to do. I'm going to ask you all a question, first of all. I want you to take that beginning of a communal garden pie chart. You all know what a pie chart is, don't you? Okay. And I want you to say that is the makeup of a truly successful person. Somebody who's doing what they want with their business, somebody who's succeeding at selling in their marketplace, because you've got to be able to sell. Without sales, nothing else happens in your business. That is the makeup of them. Now, I want you to imagine, how many of you have got businesses already? You're already running, or got jobs, or something like that. Okay, that's fine. I'd like you to think about your job for the moment, or the business that you're running, and that somebody has come along and said, I'm going to give you a year off. I'm going to make up your salary if you are running your own business or if you're in employment already. It's all right. Your employer's going to fund you for a year at your current salary level. And you can go, on the basis that you go abroad to somewhere in some of the poorest parts of the world, like South Africa or Latin America or India, to help those people out. You can work with them, do something philanthropic for a year. But before I let you go on full salary, what I want you to do is, you've got to write a job description for the person who for 1 year is going to replace you. I'd like you to think about the work you do every day, and think about some of the requirements you would have to have in that job description. Go on, for the job you do now, for the work you do now, some of the requirements, what would you have to have on that job description so somebody could replace you for 1 year? Go on.
Good communication skills.
You've got to have good comm skills, yeah? There's no wrong answers, it's just what you think. It's your job,
Industry knowledge.
Sorry?
Industry knowledge.
You've got to have knowledge, yeah? Keep them coming, chaps. Don't just sit there. It's like a pantomime. You can shout out. It's Christmas. It's behind you. Go on.
Experience.
You've got to have experience, yeah?
Business
Although not an
development
awful lot.
skills.
I just tell you, I've got a little flat in Mayfair, and about 3 years ago, the guy above me, his kitchen's above my kitchen, and his washing machine leaked and ran down my wall. And I said to the landlord, you know, can we have this fixed on the block insurance? He said, yeah, get it done yourself and put the chit in and we'll pay it. So I found a handyman company in Holloway, and I rang them up. A little black chap turned up in a Honda with a box of tools on the back, fixed everything, perfectly done, and £50 an hour, you know, minimum call-out charge. Well, somebody else was paying, I didn't mind. I said to him, you know, so this is quite a nifty little business you've got here, you know, going around Mayfair and the West End of London on your Honda with a box of tools. Is there much call for a handyman around, you know, this West End of London? He said, oh yeah. He said 90% of my work is putting up pictures. £50 an hour. Listen, chaps, you've got a business, and you've got anybody at home got a drill, electric drill? Anybody know what raw plugs are? Anybody got a box of screws? You've got a business. I'm telling you, this is it. He said, I'm at work all day. He said, most jobs take me half an hour. That's sort of £100 an hour. Is anybody not going to earn £100 an hour? I mean, this is it. Keep quiet. He said, keep quiet about it. I'm not going to keep quiet. It's my job to say, whatever you've got now. If you think of Colonel Saunders, do you know how old Colonel Saunders was when he started Kentucky Fried Chicken? 62. Do you know why he started it? Because he only had one thing in the world apart from a $45 a month Social Security check, because it's very low in America, it's about 35 years ago. The only thing he had in the world apart from that was a recipe for fried chicken, which his mum had given him. So he sold it around the restaurants of New Orleans, and the rest is history. So you don't need to have an awful lot. What you've got now is enough. My job is to show you how to market that, sell it. But first of all, to continue doing this, you've got to have some experience. What else have you got to have?
Business development skills.
You've got to have development skills. What else? Come on, some of the other things you've got to have.
Attitude.
Attitude. You've got to have attitude, yeah. What else?
Management skills.
You've got to have management skills,
IT skills. IT skills.
I didn't hear you, sorry.
IT
skills, yeah. What else? Come on, what real things have you got to have?
Good habits.
You've got to have good habits, right?
Listening skills.
Sorry?
Listening skills.
You've got to be a good listener, yeah. My wife says I don't listen enough. Listening. Most men don't listen at all. Do you know most men listen to the first 5 words of what somebody else says, and they're already formulating how they're going to reply. So women are quite right when you say you don't listen to your husband and boyfriend. It's absolutely true. What else have we got? What other skills you've got to have? What other fundamental characteristics have you got to have?
Reliability.
You've got to be reliable. Come on, let's have some of these down here.
Punctual.
You've got to be punctual. Yeah. Right, and you've got to be punctual. What else?
Determination.
You've got to be determined. Yeah, we're getting down to it now. What else?
Ambitious.
You've got to be ambitious. Yeah, you've got to want to succeed.
Passionate, great.
You've got to be passionate. Yeah, here it comes.
Committed.
You've got to be committed. Yeah, committed. Yeah, what else?
So belief in yourself.
You've got to have belief. Yeah. Go on. What else?
Willingness to learn, willingness to change.
Willingness. You've got to learn. You've got to be able to learn. Yeah.
Drive.
Hey, you've got to have a bit of drive, yeah. You notice when we start getting down to it, the things that really count in business, yeah, we've got skills over here, and we've got knowledge. They only appear a couple of times. What do all these other things add up to? And if you've been to this lecture before, I don't want you to answer just because you've seen it all. I want the others who haven't been before. What one word sums up the biggest thing that will make a huge amount of difference to whether you succeed in sales or not? Character is part of it, yeah. Self-belief, what does it add up to? The whole character and self-belief, yeah, there's a word which is fundamental. Attitude! Absolutely right. It's attitude. How much? We've got to get skills in, we've got to get knowledge in, now we've got to get attitude in. All these other things add up to attitude. Let's start opening this pie chart up, and you tell me, because we've got to get skills and knowledge and attitude in here. We're going to start with attitude. You tell me when you think we've got enough attitude in here. You've got to get skills and knowledge in too. You stop me, you know. Stop? Is that enough?
No.
You got a bit more, yeah? Notice the men, it's the ladies that are telling you what sort of attitude you've got to have. How much? Right? Tell me when you think we've got enough.
It's got to be at least 3/4 and then I think.
You're absolutely right. Studies done by the place I started selling copying machines out of Xerox in Croydon, and they gave me this information a long, long time ago. They said the biggest thing that will make all the difference, and they constantly check because they're a very sales-oriented company. They've discovered over the years that the biggest thing that makes 75% of the difference to whether you succeed in business or not is attitude. Skills